Hey folks, and all be all here, and we are back after quite a bit of a break. I got a little busy with work, but thought I'll come back in, give a few updates of a few videos. I decided to give voiceover for this particular video because I've recorded about I think 3 videos so far, but this particular one was something which is quite memorable. Spoiler alert: I lose this match. It was against Bugsy Malone, and this particular match ended my 30 win streak. So it ended up obviously I'm disappointed to lose and to end my streak, but it ended up being a really good match. It pushed me to my limits, and I learn more from failures than wins. I would rather have a tough match which leads to a failure than an easy match, uninteresting, which makes me, which results in a victory. So let me go ahead and tell you about this match is going to be focused on the commentary over here is going to be focused on the mistakes I made, the what I should have done better, and things that I learned about the future. There are a few bright spots in this match as well, which I'll talk about. But overall, I think got to hand it to my opponent. He outplayed me in characters as well as in the ship zone. So let me go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you about this particular match. So Bugsy Malone, he didn't have as much lifetime ban as you'll see over here, 617K, and he hasn't reached much in Kyber as well. But he did know his counters. He did, he skipped a few seasons. Like last season of 3v3, I think he got the trapped in Carbonite or something like that. So I think this is one character who does not enjoy playing 3v3s, which is why he ended up doing really nothing much about it, which is why his lifetime banners are that low. But otherwise, I think he's a really good player because when I went back and took a look at the counters that he was using, it was really good stuff. And kudos to him for clearing me, keeping only one GL on offense. So let me show you exactly what he's done. So he took 3 battles against my Padme, which was great to see, and he took out the DR team at the back, in the front over here, with one shot, and then at the back, I believe he used gas against the DR, and the back over here, he a couple of battles against my my CLS squad, and then what I did was and this is the first mistake. So I decided to play for feats, and I decided to keep my Rex with the rest of the clones, 501st clones with Ahsoka, and that ended up costing me because my defense. Typically, I would have gas over here at the back, which would have been really tough to take out. But then my defense was made really weak over here by having a Basti team, and I kept gas under Basti. So that was I think a mistake, which cost me a really solid defense. So that was the first thing. And the next one, if you see over here on top, he did one shot my Grievous and SL and my crew, but 3 battles against my JTR. So my defense did a decent job of getting holes, but it didn't prevent the full clear, which was key. And then over here, my opponent, took he took some. I kept both my get two ships, and he was able to clear both of them. So that was again really well done in terms of my opponent. So total score that he had was 1999, which is about 100 shy of a decent score, a one-shot score. So I was feeling comfortable going into the battle. But you see, the stuff that my opponent has kept is nothing much on top. He's just kept a CLS squad and a few other relatively B squads. Not sure what they're trying to do, but relatively B squads. And then over here, he kept his Grievous with Newt, and then he kept Darth Revan. And it's a decently well relicked up Darth Revan squad. So this is where I got tripped up. So let me fast forward and show you the matchups. So the very first match, I took my Jedi Knight Revan against Grievous because I wanted to save my GLs for the back, and I wasn't very confident about Night Sisters against Grievous with Newt. So I decided to just go with a plain Jedi Knight Revan squad, and since I'd already kept my Basti on defense, so that's another thing. I mean, having all your Jedi on offense actually gives you tons of flexibility. And I didn't have Gas or Basti on offense anymore, so that reduced a ton of flexibility that I have. So I took in Cam and I took in my Jedi Knight Luke, which are two really good Jedi, which ended up costing me because you'll see over here. You know, Grievous by the end of it, he ended up doing a lot of damage and was able to take out almost all of my characters with the exception of my Luke. So I ended up, even though it was a one shot, I ended up getting some pretty low banners over there. I think only 49. So and I ended up wasting a couple of good characters over here. So another bunch of mistakes that I made over here. And then this was the biggest mistake, Darth Revan. I should have probably just taken in my no, you'll see the mistakes that I made over here. So I took in Ray. I thought Ray was a pretty safe counter. It's a GL against Darth Revan. Should be able to get the job done. And I wanted to be able to get the kills right away. But over here, you'll see I ended up, I took characters like surrounded her with taunts so that she can, she'll be able to get her ultimate fast and be able to do some damage. Very first whirlwind, I took out Malik, which was fine, but there was still a second taunt around over here. So I needed to do what I can to get rid of Sith Empire Trooper. I'm constantly keeping my characters alive, making sure nothing is out of the ordinary. And then I'm trying to get rid of Sith Empire Trooper over here because he's all my characters are locked behind taunts, and I've got no damage dealers apart from Rey. So I need to, and I don't have any healers as well. Typically, I would have taken in Hermit Yoda, who would have been great over here. But you can see over here, the whirlwind wasn't able to take out all the characters. So now I finally took out the tank, and I'm able to attack the other characters. And here I started to go after Sith Marauder because I thought that Sith Marauder would be the most dangerous character, given that he was Relic 7 and the others were not. That was the other big mistake that I made. Always go for Darth Revan and take him out. It'll make, even if you're not able to clean him up in the first shot, the cleanup will become that much more easier. Darth Revan or Basti, those are always the characters to take. So you can see over here, I wasn't able to take Basti out or Darth Revan out, and the amount of damage that these guys were doing, it just my Ray is at red health right now, and I've got no other damage dealers over there, and these guys were able to take out my Ray. So really bad outcome over here. This is where I knew that things were not going to go as expected. I still had a couple of GLs for the back, but you can see over here I struggled a ton to take out this particular Darth Revan squad. I thought that my boss will be able to get the job done, but with Basti around, it's always tough because there's so much of fear going around. These guys never get a chance, and you can see over here the this particular battle also didn't end up that well. So I ended up wasting my boss team. Then I decided to take my Palp. I thought these guys get tons of debuffs. Maybe Palp will get turn meter without Malik in there, and I might be able to get some characters down. Um, but unfortunately, I should have probably burnt my cooldowns because these guys were able to really work through my Palp without me, doing anything much at all. So I decided to go into Ultimate and see if I can take out at least one of these characters. But with Basti in there giving that special, these guys, I wasn't even able to take out one of them. I mean, even Vader's culling blade didn't do much damage at all. So another loss over there. So then I decided to just take in uh, my GL, and I thought I'll just take in my 501st and just get through this zone because I was fairly confident that my opponent would not keep any GLs at the back. That's what he had done in the past. So I thought, let me just use one of my GLs, get rid of this, and I have my SLKR for the back in case he's kept his own Sith Eternal Emperor, for example. So I thought that should be more than enough. So I basically overkilled this particular Darth Revan squad with my uh, clones and Jedi Master Luke. So when I go and see at the back, what do I see? I see that my opponent has kept, let's see if I can show that screen. So I go at the back and I see that my opponent has kept his SLKR, which left me in a tough squad because with my Rey and with my Jedi Master Luke, I would have been able to take care of this. But all my premium first order squad is on defense. My Hux, first order Sith Trooper, Crew, Kylo Ren, all of those guys. I do have my own SLKR on offense, but SLKR is the only GL I have, and he's not going to be able to do anything versus a full SLKR squad with all the premium characters in there. So this is where I knew I was screwed because I would not be able to one-shot this particular team. So I decided to go ahead and do what I can with the other teams. Decide the next best squad is the CLS squad up top. That's a full CLS squad with C3PO and Chupio and all that. So I decided to take my rebels against that, my scoundrels against that. So this is another one of those counters which can work against CLS. There are very few counters which work on offense. Obviously, GLs can work great. Jedi can work with JKR and JKL. Grievous works very well, but gives you low banners. But this is one team which gives very decent banners. If you get the right, especially if you get the right RNG at the beginning with a stun, and if they're as long as your Mando and your Quill survive, you are in a really good spot to be in. So that's what happened over here. I survived the opening barrage, and even though there's no days over here, I was able to um, I was able to survive long enough to get some damage done. So I like to have a second taunt in there, which is why I got Stormtrooper Han. And with the first Whistling Birds, 16 stacks, I was able to take out Chewie, and uh, and now it's just a question of getting rid of 3PO and Chewie because that he's the next big character. But luckily, I managed to land days with Nest on quite a few of them, and managed to heal up a little bit as well. And over here, even though there's blind and all on these characters, it's really not much of an issue. These guys, as long as they're able to survive and land the important stun and shock with Quill here and there, that's the most important thing. So getting rid of 3PO and Chewie is the most important thing to do. And here, we've got all the crits and all that these guys are doing on my IG-11. All of that just serves to heal him. So, they're not able to get him down, which is great. Now I try to take care of Luke. I wasn't able to finish him off with the Whistling Birds, but these other guys come in and are able to do a decent job to finish him off. And now it's only Han left, and my characters are almost at full health and full protection. So I just do a final heal, get everyone up to full health and full protection, and then finish it off with with Nest to get a cool 60 banners. So 60 banners is a really great outcome against that CLS squad, especially if you're not using a GL and all that. So this was one of the highlights of the match. I think it's the first time I was trying scoundrels against CLS, um, but this led to a decent outcome. And this is definitely a good team to have in your back pocket if you don't have Grievous or any of the GLs that you can spare against CLS. This is definitely a great squad to have in your back pocket. All right, and now let me just fast forward through the other matches. I think I took Mon Mothma against the turn meter train version of the Mon Mothma against the JTR squad with Droidica and Magna and Royal Guard in there. So nothing much to talk about in this particular match. I believe I end with full 60 banners because this team doesn't allow the enemy to take a turn. So it's a pretty straightforward match. So you can see over here with POW gaining all that turn meter, and my POW is not even that great. I think G10 or something like that, G9 or G10, but that really doesn't matter because you really don't allow these guys to take any turn at all. And you can see over here, end with 60 banners, which is great. And then against the droid squad, I just took my Night Sisters against that. And Night Sisters are a very survivable squad and really doesn't. They're really no issue against these B squads that you see out there. So my roster, you can see by now, was being stretched thin, and now I'm going with ships against. So yeah, let me show you what my opponent kept as ships. So I cleared this zone, and at the back, I see the ships, and I felt certain that my opponent would not have kept his negotiator on defense, but he did because he had one shot both my get to ships. So he did it without his negotiator on offense, which was quite an impressive feat. So he's kept the home one, which is a decent squad, and then he's got his negotiator, and I don't have either of my get ships on offense. So I decided to take my Radis against this negotiator, and my Radis counter that I developed really works well against the Rex version. Against the Ahsoka version, it's a little iffy. I can always double shot it, but it's a little difficult to get right in the first shot, just because Ahsoka has that extra dispel, which she can dispel your Houndstooth with, and she gives retribution to all the allies as well, which can also make it a little tricky. So let me show you the match going in, how that really happens. So this is a lineup that I usually take in versus Negotiator. I start with two fast ships who are faster than Anakin, and in this case, my first order silencer was first order ship was faster than Ahsoka as well. So what you need to do is you need to get Anakin in the yellow or red, and so that it forces the unending loyalty, or the buff from Kenobi. So that happened. He didn't do the AOE. Now I just do the I save my taunt until after Viving has gone with the dispel, and then I put the taunt on. So far so good. It's doing okay. I do the AOE over here to apply some debuffs, and Anakin is in the yellow right now, which is great, but Plo comes in. So I think that was another mistake that I made. I should not have done the AoE, because what the AoE did was it added debuffs to the board, which forced Plo to come in. So if I hadn't done the AoE, there would have been no debuffs, and instead of Plo, maybe Fives or Jedi Council or someone else might have come in, whoever else was there in the reinforcements. So that was another thing that I learned over here about the timing of when to do the AoE and or timing of when to land the debuffs. So I get my Rey's Millennium Falcon in here, and I'm trying to, and over here, that's another disadvantage of doing the debuffs when Ahsoka is on the field, because I got debuffs on everyone. Ahsoka cleansed them and gave every single guy retribution, which was horrible. Now I need to get through that. So every time that my guys attack, these guys are going to be doing AOEs, or they're going to be doing retribution. And over here, this is what I mean by Ahsoka. She went in and dispelled my Houndstooth, and now my characters are out in the open, and I don't have much protection. Not much issue losing the first order ship, but losing Poe is a big deal. And you can see over here, these characters, they got rid of my Poe, and I am still quite far away from the ultimate, so not a good situation to be in. So now Anakin's ship is healed up a little bit, and I've got quite a few buffs on my Millennium Falcon with which to do extra damage. So now I'm just hoping for a crit, because a crit is what I need to take out Anakin and Ahsoka. So I go ahead and do a basic over here, because there's still unending loyalty on Anakin. So I'm just waiting over here for the unending loyalty to go away, so that I can do an AoE. And this is the chance that I have. Yeah, this is the chance that I have. I do the AoE, and I got a crit on Ahsoka, but unfortunately no crit on Anakin. I was so close to taking him out. If Anakin was out, then this would have been a one shot for sure. But and I was still 3 away from my ultimate. So unfortunate. So what I decided to do over here was, given that Anakin was so close to being taken out, I usually get in my Resistance Pilot over here, but I decided to get in my Lando's Millennium Falcon, because it has a dispel. So I decided to get that in, dispel the Y-wing, and then take out Anakin right away with that ship, because he gets a turn right away. Otherwise, Anakin would have gone again, and he would have probably killed the rest of my ship. So at least this way, Anakin is out of the way, and a cleanup should be way easier. So the rest of this fight, I end up losing. End up getting defeated for this one. So again, my opponent one-shot my fleet, but I wasn't able to one-shot his fleet. So let me show you the rebel fight. I took in my Empire fleet initially, and that got demolished because Biston was in there. So I took in my rebels as I backed out, and I took in my rebels in a mirror match. And especially if your own Biston is faster, I think mirror matches tend to go a little better. So if I see a Biston in the enemy ship, then I probably wouldn't take rebels in my own Empire in there. I would probably take Biston and my own rebel fleet, especially if my rebel fleet is faster. So that was another mistake. So another drop battle in fleet over here. So I ended up with 43 banners over here. So then I go back in and then I clean up this fleet, and the only fleet I have remaining now is first order. So I take my first order fleet in there and I clean up the negotiator fleet. And it helps that Anakin is not there, because if Anakin was around, I probably wouldn't have been able to clean this up. So it helps that Anakin is not there, and I was able to get in Clone Sarge as my tank over here and do enough damage to take these guys out. So only Y-wing left over here, so it's just a question of taking this particular fleet out. And you can see over here, let me fast forward it a little bit. Uh, yeah, so I was able to take that out and finally able to get through both the fleets. So double shots on both the fleets, not a desirable situation to be in. And now I just taken my troopers. I really had nothing left at this point of time, and this trooper team would have been fine if Nest wasn't there, but Nest wasn't there, and with Veers in there reducing turn meter, and well, actually, I don't have Veers. Yeah, I deliberately left out Veers because I didn't want Veers reducing turn meter for Nest. And I tried to, the rest of the characters are pretty easy to take out, but Nest I wasn't able to take out. I ended up timing out over here. These guys get just too much turn meter, and I wasn't able to get enough damage done to take Nest out. So I'm going to fast forward this a bit because this ended up being a double shot as well. Yeah, so Nest wasn't able to be taken out over there, so I just took in my first order squad with yeah. Over here, I decided to try something different because I didn't have my first order squad, so I knew I wasn't going to clear this SLKR. So I thought, let me take my Geos in with the SLKR. Just because I thought the Geos might get some extra assists in and enable me to get to my ultimate faster, my just by doing all those extra hits. But that, as you can see over here, it didn't really work out because he had Hux in there to pass turn meter and get rid of the other uh, characters that I had. So yeah, this basically ended up being a non-starter. My SLKR wasn't able to get much done. I was able to take a couple of characters out, I think, but there's this guy reached his ultimate, and it was game over. I was still pretty far away from my ultimate, so nothing much that I could do about that. So yeah, I think I ended up doing a killing first order stormtrooper over here. Yeah, and then I get wiped out over here right away. So not a good outcome over here. This guy gets taken out, and I have nothing else left to take out the SLKR. So I just decide to clean up the nest. Let me show you that. Yeah, I just clean up the nest with my Treya and Nihilus, and that's it. And then I got stuck on the SLKR. So kudos to my opponent for surprising me with a good SLKR at the back and preventing the full clear. So this is the final board. This is what it looks like. I ended up getting, believe, let's see, what was it? I ended up getting about 1800 something or 1700 something, and my opponent got 1999. So I got defeated by about 180, 200 banners. The worst thing was I couldn't clear my opponent because any other GL I had at the back, Ray or Jedi Master Luke, I would have been able to do a decent job and cleaned it up, or at least multi-shot it, and then I would have won because I was more efficient. But kudos to my opponent, really well played, and I saw the history that my opponent did afterwards as well. He took in some really good counters against the squads that I had. I'm really kicking myself for keeping gas away from the 501st because that would have made all the difference. If I had it on offense, I would have used that against the DR and would have saved both my GLs for the back. And if I had it on defense, I would have probably prevented my opponent from clearing as well because I saw the defense that they had, or saw the offense that they used against my defense. They're really struggling towards the end, and they wouldn't have been able to clear a 501st team if they saw that. But that's bygones. I learned a ton, and I really did enjoy this match because I enjoyed going to the depths of my roster, and that's something that I'm sure we'll see more of in the new season of GAC. So, bright silver lining over here is given that I've lost one battle, I'm going to this is the last season of these 7. format, the 7 defense format, I'm going to go ahead and do all sorts of different things to play around and test around in the for the rest of the season. So my next couple of opponents, you'll see, I'll have the video links down below. I'm not going to give commentary for them because it's really nothing much of a video. Ended up getting pretty easy victories. But I'll give the video links to them, to those matches down below. You can go and check out those matches. But if I see a good opponent, I'll give commentary for the rest of the season. I'll probably go ahead and to try some new counters out, try some stretch things that I've been thinking about to use in my new season next month. So I'll try all those things out when I see good opponents. So hopefully you'll get to see some of those tests and trials for me in this season. All right, so that's it for this match. Hope you enjoyed seeing this match. Really bummed out that I'm losing. I had 2 seasons of undefeated runs, so this is like the 30th match that I would have won. But it's not a bad streak. So that essentially what it means is in the last 8 seasons, I've lost about 4 times. So that essentially means that every couple of seasons I have one loss, which is not a bad record. I'm pretty okay with that kind of a record. That's mostly a 95% win rate. So I'm pretty okay with that. All right, so that's it for this match. I will catch you guys in a few days whenever I get the next video out. Until then, if you want to check out my next 2 matches, see the link down below. Otherwise, take care and happy gaming. Catch you later.